Welcome to Cultivating Pleasant Places. My name is Brenda Dillon, and today I wanted to start going through Charlotte Mason's 20 Principles. Charlotte Mason is one of those terms we use for a specific type of education that's popular right now in homeschool circles, and I think it deserves to be. It went out of fashion for quite a while. Charlotte Mason lived from 1842 to 1923. She was an education reformer. She thought that all children deserved to have an education, and so when she was living, not all kids did. In fact, unless your parents were wealthy and could afford to give you one, or if you didn't have to go work in factories, then you maybe didn't get an education. In fact, the popular belief was that not all children were able to be educated. And so that broke her heart, and she really had a heart to give all kids an education. And she trained teachers, and she did all kinds of writing for parents and teachers, telling them here's how kids learn. So she had a very fleshed out philosophy. She didn't just say, this is broken, what do we do to fix it? Let's tear this down and start over from scratch. She was very well read. She read the Bible, history, she read modern psychology, education theories. There was a lot coming out of Germany, this idea of kindergartens, and she would look at them and say, does this work? How do children really learn? What does the Bible say about how children learn? And so she had a very cohesive philosophy, and I think that's why it still holds up. That's why we read it now and say, oh, that's still true about children. She was right. It had a very lasting effect, and so I want to just dig into each of her principles because they build on each other, and sometimes we take the nature element and say, I'm doing nature study, therefore I'm Charlotte Mason, and that's fine to take and draw from different philosophies. But when you dig in deeper with Charlotte Mason and study each of the 20 principles, you see again how foundational the first one is, that children are born persons, and then she continues to build on that. And there's so much richness every time I read her books. The home education series are her words. You can read them. There are 6 books. They're available for free online, or you can buy them if you like a print option. There are shorter books if you just want to find out a little bit more about her. There is For the Children's Sake by Susan Schaefer Macaulay, A Charlotte Mason Companion by Karen Andrioli, and a new one just came out, Modern Miss Mason by Leah Bowden. These are all excellent books if you want to get a taste, but eventually my hope for everyone as they learn to love her like I do is that they'll dig in and read her own words. She has so much wisdom, and so that's where you could go to find out more information about her. I'm going to get right into the principles now. When my son was preschool age, he was quite a handful for a while, and he was my firstborn, and I loved him so much, and I would drop him off at childcare and think, oh, I hope these people can see him. I had come from a teaching background, and I knew we have our favorites. We have the kids that have names we will never name our children because they were so difficult in the classroom. And I just hope that his teachers could see past the behavior that day and see him as a person and love him as much as I did, or at least enjoy him. And I was lucky in that he had some wonderful teachers they worked with me, and they were able to enjoy him and help partner with me to train him. And now if you met my oldest son, you wouldn't even believe he had these struggles because he is just wonderful and obedient and respectful. But there's a training process in preschool, right, where kids sometimes like to test the boundaries or don't know how to behave in certain situations. So we walked through that season, and it broke my heart a little bit to think, oh, were there other kids in my class that maybe I had failed to have that heart? Did their moms drop kids off in my class and think, oh, please see my child? And I think I've grown in that. I hope I did a good job as a teacher, but it took becoming a mother to realize the value of each kid. Charlotte Mason definitely saw that, even though she wasn't a mother, but she read the Bibles and she said there is a code of education in the Gospels that all teachers should adhere to, whether in the classroom or as a parent. She said, if you read the Gospels, you will find the divine estimate of the child's estate. In other words, Jesus described kids as the greatest in the kingdom of heaven. So he communicated that children have value. This was not always the view of children during Charlotte Mason's time. People thought they came not fully formed and that their personhood only developed as they got older or were taught or instructed or formed. And we still sometimes think that. We think, oh, I'm not a baby person, or toddlers are so difficult, which they are from my previous story. I know that. But they are persons, they are people. And the Bible gives them a high estimation. So Charlotte Mason took that view. She said, Jesus thinks they're valuable. We should view them as valuable. And he also has some commands about how we are to treat children. And they are all in the negative form, Charlotte Mason said. These commands say, offend not the children, hinder not the children, despise not the children. So she looked at the teachers and said, we have a command which is basically don't get in the way. don't get between children and God. Don't get between children and the education between the kids and the ideas. So sometimes we are wonderfully well-intentioned, and she pointed this out. Teachers have wonderful intentions of helping children, but their behavior when they digest the ideas, she uses the metaphor of food a lot. So she says children need to be fed on physical food for their physical bodies, but they need to be fed on ideas for their mind to grow. And so teachers, we come in and we plan all these lessons and we think about the ideas and we do all the eating and digesting for the children, and this actually gets in the way of them interacting with living ideas. So under that first principle of children are born persons, first of all, respect them. Don't look down on them and think, I'm so much smarter than you. I'm so much more of a person. I will help you become a person. That's a disrespectful way to view children. Also, we need to give them the food of ideas that they need. She says, our business is to give children the great ideas of life, of religion, history, science, but it is the ideas we must give, clothed upon with facts as they occur. In other words, we will give them some facts, but that shouldn't be the main meat of their education. The ideas are the main meat. And must leave the child to deal with these as he chooses. So we have a part. We present ideas to the children. They have a part. They accept which ideas they will, and they think about them. And then we ask them to tell back to us which ideas stood out to them, and we will start getting into narration and different videos down the road. But I just want you to think about that for a little bit. How can I give my children more ideas? How can I give them space to think about those ideas, to make connections between the ideas? She says when we only give them facts, we're just giving them sawdust, and that's not a diet that they can survive upon. So we want instead to give them the best ideas and the best books. So we need to pick quality books and present those to the kids in a feast of ideas. And then she talks about how when we're letting them interact with all of these ideas, we are providing pleasant places for the mind to roam in. So another reason why I love the name of my company, Cultivating Pleasant Places, is it really lines up with what Charlotte Mason said about how ideas are creating an atmosphere where kids can enjoy playing with these ideas. And it's really the only way where we can grow into educated individuals and think better, write better, communicate better. And it's pleasant for us as well to live in that land of living ideas. So we'll continue to build on this concept in some of the next videos.